Hello, I'm Kendra Cook, your host for the DCTV Daily News program out of Dove Creek, Colorado, brought to you by the Dolores County Broadcasting Network with support from the Southwest Colorado TV Translator Association. That's the special district association responsible for bringing the area free to access TV stations over the air by antenna. This is a community TV station, so if there's a news or story or event information that you would like to share, contact us. The email is 970-677, the call in at 970-677-4119 or email dcbnnews@gmail.com. And if you're a business or organization, we welcome you to find out about sponsorship opportunities or banners or video segments run on the channel. This is the Thursday program for March 11th, 2021, DCTV Daily News. Cuando y cuantos? That's the title of a recent article in the Empire Electric February newsletter to its co-op members, which is Spanish for how much and when, as in how much it will cost in new electric bill invoices depending on when you have your high-use items plugged in. The article begins, quote, whether it's in Spanish or in English, they both matter. When, cuando, you use appliances and how many, cuantos, you use at the same time make a difference in the cost to provide you power. We spent the last few months discussing different aspects of electric rates, and we hope you have a good base of knowledge that will aid you as we work through some practical examples of how cuando y cuantos will impact your bill in the future, end quote. I'm unable to get an exact figure on how many Spanish-speaking residents make up the Empire Electric constituents, as it were, but it does seem very odd and noted by others I've spoken with why that is the headline for such an important potential change and no doubt large increase in your power bill if you don't pay attention. They tell you, quote, the monthly grid access charge will remain the same, but energy use over time measured in kilowatt hours, kWh, will be charged at two different prices, on-peak and off-peak. On-peak pricing will be roughly 3 times as expensive as off-peak pricing. That's 3 times the bill if you do it at the same time you're doing now. There will also be a monthly demand charge. That's measured in kilowatts based on the highest demand you place on the Empire Electric Association grid at any time during the month, end quote. So they've included this graphic here to give you a rough idea of the different high-use appliances that you might have and how they compare in terms of kilowatt usage. While a TV actually is only around 0.3 kilowatts, your water heater, electric range, and clothes dryer range from 3.8 to 7.5 kilowatts. And if you run them at the same time, those all add up. They state the EEA's proposed on-peak time will be Monday through Saturday from noon until 10 p.m., except for the 6 holidays of New Year's, Memorial Day, the 4th of July, Labor Day, Thanksgiving, and Christmas. If one of those holidays occurs on a Monday through Saturday, they say that holiday will have no on-peak time and will be treated like a Sunday, which is always off-peak pricing, they noted, all day. The other part to the potential increase on your bill is that EEA will measure your demand based on 15-minute intervals. Maximum demand is determined by dividing the largest kilowatt-hour usage in any 15-minute period during the billing period by 1/4 of an hour to remove the time component. And then they go on to give you some examples comparing the same appliance kilowatt draw, but the amount of time used obviously increases the overall kilowatt hour of energy used. So, example, running a space heater for 8 hours at 1.5 kilowatts results in 12 kilowatt hours of energy, while a microwave at 1.5 kilowatts for 2 hours, quite a long time by the way, yields 3 kilowatt hours of energy. And then they explain that using either of those scenarios of appliances use and time during peak hours, pretty much most of the day time from noon to 10 p.m., that will affect your bill. And a reminder that it's not just one machine or appliance. If it's what's being used all at the same time that will affect your demand charge. So they suggest, by example, that a more conscious family will stagger their large appliance usage and ultimately, as much as possible, use timers to use machines at off-peak times and staggered, not being a draw on the system at the same time. Finally, they report the proposed rate pricing will be finalized in the next 2 months. When pricing is approved, EEA will provide examples and tools for comparing your current rate to the proposed rate. EEA looks forward to providing you with a rate that will give you more control over your energy costs, they state. Not sure how that is really a true statement, as they seem to be the ones controlling when and how they are charging you higher and higher potential pricing. The EEA Co-op March Board meeting will be held this Friday, March 12th at 1 p.m. Empire Electric Association's 2021 annual member meeting is scheduled for Thursday, June 17th at EEA's Engineering and Operations Center, which is located at 23999 Road L.4 in Cortez, Colorado. Registration will begin at 4:30 p.m. and the meeting will begin at 5:30 p.m. on that date in June. For all of those details, or if you have any questions, please visit their easy-to-navigate website at eea.coop for co-op. And now, let's take a look at the local weather. Today, we're looking for around 40% chance for rain and snow showers off and on throughout the day. Mostly cloudy and a high near 41 degrees. Still breezy with a south wind 10 to 15 miles an hour, increasing to 20 to 25 miles an hour in the morning. For tonight, a 20% chance of snow showers after 4 a.m., mostly cloudy and a low around 24. West-southwest winds 5 to 10 miles an hour, becoming east-southeast in the evening. For Friday, a 30% chance of rain and showers before 1, and then a chance of snow showers between 1 and 2 p.m. in the afternoon, followed by rain and snow showers after 2. Partly sunny and a high near 40 degrees, with breezy winds continuing, south winds 10 to 15 miles an hour, increasing to 15 to 20 miles an hour in the morning. Winds could gust on Friday as high as 30. Friday night, a chance of rain and snow showers before 8 p.m., then a chance of snow showers, mostly cloudy and a low around 24 overnight. East-southeast winds at 5 to 10 miles an hour remain with the chance of precipitation at 50%, so that new snow accumulation of less than 1 inch is possible. And this continues throughout the weekend. Saturday, snow showers likely, cloudy with a high near 36 degrees, south-southwest winds 10 to 15, becoming west-northwest in the afternoon. The chance of precipitation on Saturday is 60%. Saturday night, a 40% chance of snow showers with mostly cloudy skies and a low around 25. And into Sunday, a slight chance of snow showers remains before 3 p.m., then a slight chance of rain and snow showers. Partly sunny with a high near 40 for Sunday, breezy, and the chance of precipitation reduces to about 20%. For Sunday night, partly cloudy and a low around 24. And into Monday, mostly sunny with a high near 45. Monday night, a slight chance of snow showers after 11, partly cloudy with a low around 26. And Tuesday, partly sunny with a high near 41. Tuesday night, partly cloudy, a low around 24. And next Wednesday, partly sunny, a high near 43 with Wednesday night, partly cloudy and a low around 25. And now back to our news. You may or may not remember from the beginning of the Biden administration that the farm capital gains tax is so high it is said to likely kill family farms. That's pretty strong language, but the reality is the cost just may be that high. According to an article by Wanda Pistache of Minnesota Farming, she wrote at that time, "I was stunned as anyone when I read about the new Biden administration's proposed changes to the capital gains tax and stepped up basis. The intended capital gains tax will increase to 39.6%. The highest capital gains increase in U.S. history. In addition, it would not include a step-up basis. So what does that mean, and how will this affect the family farm? Typically, capital gains tax is the tax assessed on the profit, the difference between the value of when the property was originally purchased to when it is inherited or sold when selling a piece of land, property, or a business. A stepped-up basis is the revaluing of an asset at the time of death and or purchase to the current value. For example, a farmer purchases or had purchased 160 acres in 1984 for, say, $1,500 an acre for a total of $240,000. That's way overpriced for here. The farm was inherited by family members in 2021 after the farmer passed away. The value of the land at the time of death was $8,000 per acre, or a total value of $1.28 million. Normally, the step-up basis will change to $8,000 per acre at the time of death, and if the farm was then sold, say, 5 years later and valued at $8,500 an acre, a capital gains tax would be assessed on only the additional $500 per acre. Biden's proposal, however, would eliminate the step-up basis at the time of death and when the property is sold. The capital gains tax would be assessed at the entire amount, the difference between $8,500 to $1,500 of the original purchase, at a rate of 39.6%. The total amount of tax would be $443,520. Yes, you read that correctly. In addition, Biden has also suggested a provision where the capital gain tax would be assessed at the time of death and not just at the time of sale of the farmer. Again, the tax would be that $443,520 on the example provided. Elections have consequences. We all expected new higher taxes with the new administration. In addition to the capital gains tax, there are also state and federal estate taxes, and President Biden wants to decrease the federal exemption by half. So look for more taxes. What is heartbreaking is the notion that as a family farmer who has spent years and years growing their farm with the hopes to pass it on to their family someday, They have poured their life into starting and growing the farm, knowing all of the hours, stress, emotional and financial, and risk it took to build the farm. This writer felt disappointed that individuals in our government want such a big portion of their farm when they pass. Is that fair? How will our family keep the farm going, she asks. Simply, they won't be able to. And this makes her both sad and angry. The government has no right to nearly 40% of their farm's value, she states. Meanwhile, those with money assets like Bill Gates continue to buy up farmland ahead of the cascading collapses that may soon start to happen. All of this on a farmer's plate when depression and suicides are on the rise, and the potential for food scarcity is knocking at the door. It is true that as a nation, farmers are a very small percentage of the population, a flip-flop from the Great Depression era of the 1930s when much of the population was able to survive by having local farms. The exact opposite is true now, with nearly 90% of the population of the U.S. in cities and non-farmers, if not more, after this last census is finally released. The voice of the farmer is small, but if anything is to change, the farmers need to ask their legislators to eliminate these proposals. Truly American rural and farm life are on the cutting block. Once again, I'll reference the Hunger Games movies as an example of the desertification of the West, kicking people off by all means possible and allowing only the very wealthy to make special visits to the new wilded regions. We need to remember farmers are the people who feed us. The District 3 Congress representative is Lauren Boebert, Republican, and our two senators are Senator Hickenlooper and Senator Bennett, both Democrats out of Denver. And as we head into possible hyperinflation, according to some economists, given the current trends and agendas, we look to the spring and summer driving season with a bit of concern on the affordability of filling up the gas tank. That will also hit the driving tourists, creating another aspect of the downward spiral in the American economy that some seem to be languishing over. The Durango Herald reported, quote, "A concoction of ingredients are behind a cocktail of increasing gasoline prices. And the higher prices at the pump are not expected to ease anytime soon. That's certainly not good news." Skylar McKinney, AAA Regional Director of Public Affairs, said that the main reason behind the pain consumers are feeling at the pump is rising crude oil prices, they wrote. Other factors, the unusual cold snap in the states along the Gulf Coast of Mexico, and an anticipated rise in summer travel with wider distribution of the COVID-19 vaccination or injections, are also behind the rising prices, McKinney apparently said. Quote, "The bet here is that they're going to continue rising for the foreseeable future," he said. "The era of extremely cheap gas prices are going to be behind us for a little while at least." Crude oil was trading slightly above $66 a barrel last Friday, the highest price in more than 2 years. The price had dropped to $65.08 as Monday morning. The OPEC countries, plus Russia and a few others, they have not increased production. They're going to do just a very, very, very slight increase in April, he said. But they are making the choice to drive prices up after what has been a rougher year for the oil-producing countries. Last week, OPEC countries decided to extend an oil production cut for another month despite a resurgence in global demand as economies recover from COVID-19, said Patrick DeHaan, head of petroleum analysis for Gas Buddy. "It's extremely frustrating as a consumer to feel helpless as prices soar and as millions remain unemployed, so the only advice I can offer consumers is prepare for further increases and to mitigate rising prices," DeHaan said in a news release. "Shop around for the low prices every time you need to refuel." Might suggest getting a good value car too. The largest refineries in North America were shutting down because of Arctic conditions that cut electricity, water, and fuel supplies across Texas. More than 3 million barrels of daily oil processing capacity were taken down in the wake of the record-setting cold, according to consultant Energy Aspects Ltd. The Texas storm hit also as rising demand across the country began to be felt with COVID-19 vaccinations in shot distribution. "We are seeing demand rise. That's great. It usually is a sign of recovering economy, especially in light of a pandemic," McKinney said. "Many more people are driving, and as more people become comfortable flying, that's going to increase demand for crude oil as well." Another factor driving up prices is the uncertainty surrounding President Joe Biden's policy towards oil drilling, McKinney said. In January, the Biden administration issued an executive order suspending new oil and gas leasing on federal land, and during the campaign, Biden had pledged to stop drilling on federal lands and offshore. as we had become energy independent under the Trump administration. The consulting firm Rystad Energy says a de facto ban on new leasing on federal land is now reality, but that the oil industry has also insulated itself from immediate impact. Oil companies used the final months of the Trump administration to stock up on permits. Federal permitting in New Mexico, a hotbed of Permian Basin drilling on federal land, more than tripled from 2017 to 2020, according to Rystad Energy. McKinney, back to the AAA, said that there is a moratorium on issuance of new permits. It gets covered a lot, but I don't think that's been a big driver of the price increase. I don't think there's going to be a shutdown of drilling or fracking. There might be more a promotion of alternative fuels, but the uncertainty is about policy is what's new, and that would be true of any new administration, regardless of party early on. The combination of factors is likely to push the average cost of a gallon of gasoline in Colorado to $3 a gallon by summer, McKinney said. I would say that we're going to see prices rise. A national average of about $3 sounds about right to him. We haven't seen that in about 3 years, since May of 2018, but I don't think we're going to see $3.50 a gallon. We probably won't even see $3.25 in most of Colorado, except for places like Telluride, Aspen, and Vail, and other resort communities might be the exception, he said. Certainly not addressing the cost of fuel into the impacts of the cost of hay and feed, and eventually an impact into food prices and trucking transportation costs, of course. It all works together, or doesn't. Hold on to your hats and other clothes. It might be more than wind blowing your socks off this spring. And to catch this program online, visit our Facebook page. That's DCTV Daily News, or also online on YouTube. Both you can follow and subscribe to easily and join in the conversation. This is your local community TV station, so if you have something you'd like to share or provide an event promotion or news tip, contact us by email dcbnnews@gmail.com or call 970-677-4119 and leave me a message. Thanks for tuning in to DCTV Daily News. If you like the program, again, please do like and follow us on Facebook and share it with your friends and family. This has been a production of DCTV for the DCTV Daily News program out of Dove Creek, Colorado, USA. I'm Kendra Cook. Be well and keep thinking for yourself.